All right, let's dive in. Today we're going to unpack the one and only, the king of pop, Michael Jackson.
Buckle up.
Yeah, we're working with excerpts from this article, and get this, the title translates to The Pasted Text.
The pasted text.
Yeah, a little mysterious, I know, but don't worry, the stuff inside. Fascinating. We're talking about what made Michael Jackson such a global phenomenon and why his story still, it just grabs you all these years later.
Well, it's interesting to think about how it all started, Gary, Indiana. A working-class town feels 1,000,000 miles away from the superstardom he reached.
Okay, so I want you to try to picture this, right?
Yeah.
9 kids in a tiny house with a dad who was like laser focused on them making it in music.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Can you imagine the energy in that house?
Must have been intense, yeah. But from that came undeniable talent. We're talking about a kid captivating audiences at 5 years old.
5 years old.
Yeah.
Most kids at that age are still like, what? Learning to tie their shoes.
Yeah.
But Michael, he's already fronting the Jackson 5. And those early hits, right? I Want You Back, ABC.
Classics.
These weren't just catchy tunes.
Oh, absolutely not. Groundbreaking for their time, you know? Infectious energy, tight harmonies. And then, of course, you got Michael's vocals.
Oh, come on.
Really captured that Motown sound, but with this, youthful, almost a little rebellious edge, I'd say.
Right. You hear those songs, you just gotta move, no matter how old you are.
It's true.
But even with the massive success of the Jackson 5, Michael, he was always meant for something even bigger.
Oh, yeah. Solo career that honestly reshaped the entire landscape of pop music.
Like his solo career was just something else. Off the Wall in '79, that was a statement.
For sure.
But Thriller in '82, that's the one that shifted the culture,
It did.
Thriller's more than just an album.
Way more.
It's this phenomenon. Shattered Records became the best-selling album ever. What do you think made it such a game changer?
Wow. I think it was a lot of things coming together, Michael's ambition, his desire to break down racial barriers in music. The guy was relentless in pushing those creative boundaries.
Right.
It clicked with Thriller. He wasn't just making music, he was creating an experience.
He was so innovative.
Yeah.
And that goes way beyond just the music itself.
Totally.
Michael, he got the power of visuals, way ahead of his time.
Oh, yeah.
Those music videos, they weren't just promotional things, they were like mini movies. What comes to mind when you think about those videos?
Well, Thriller, obviously. A 14-minute epic. That wasn't just a music video, that was an event. Horror, music blended together, and the choreography, the costumes just captured everyone's imagination.
It totally changed the game for music videos.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got Beat It, Smooth Criminal.
Iconic.
Just as groundbreaking.
Yeah.
But beyond all the spectacle, there was such attention to detail.
You can see that in his signature dance moves, too, like the moonwalk.
Yeah.
Seemingly defying gravity. And his fashion, the single glove, the military jackets, that stuff became global trends. He just got how to use visuals to connect with people in this completely new way.
He was a master of branding before we even talked about branding.
Right.
And we can't forget the impact on MTV.
Huge.
To help break down racial barriers at a time when, that was incredibly significant.
Absolutely.
But, of course, Michael's story, it's not all sunshine and moonwalks. There's a whole other side.
Yeah.
The complexities of fame, all the pressure that comes with it.
That's the thing about icons. Their lives are often this mix of brilliance and struggle. And Michael's changing appearance, for example, it just fueled endless speculation.
And Neverland Ranch.
Yeah.
On the one hand, it's like this heartbreaking attempt to reclaim a lost childhood.
Right.
But it also became this symbol of his isolation.
Right.
What do you make of Neverland as a concept?
It's complex. Was it longing for something lost? Was it fear of the real world? Probably a bit of both.
Right.
And then there are the allegations and controversies from his later years. Difficult topics, but you can't ignore them when you're examining his life.
It's a reminder that even the most brilliant figures, they're still human, flaws, struggles that we may never fully understand. How do we reconcile all that with his incredible artistry? It's a tough question.
It is. It's a conversation that needs to happen. But before we get too deep into those complexities, there's another side to Michael that I think deserves attention.
Yeah.
His humanitarian work.
His dedication to making the world better. It often gets lost in everything else. The guy was incredibly generous, supported so many charities and causes.
It wasn't just about giving money. Think about We Are the World, co-written with Lionel Richie.
Oh, come on.
That song became a cultural moment, brought stars together, raised millions for famine relief. It showed everyone how powerful music could be for positive change.
And then you got Man in the Mirror.
Another powerful one.
Not just a hit, but a call to action. Look inward, make a difference. Amazing how he used his platform to shine a light on issues like poverty and environmental conservation.
It shows you, beyond all the amazing performances, the pop anthems, Michael genuinely wanted to use his influence for good. It's something we should remember, celebrate.
Absolutely. We've covered a lot. Early days in Gary, the global phenomenon of Thriller, the iconic moves, his humanitarian work. But there's still so much more to uncover.
There is. We've only just scratched the surface. So we were just talking about Michael's humanitarian work. It really makes you think about the depth of the man beyond the music,
It does.
He was such a complex figure, but there's no denying that genuine desire to make a difference.
And speaking of making a difference, we touched on how Michael just, revolutionized music videos. It's easy to forget now, but back then, they weren't these elaborate productions we see today.
Totally. Before Michael, music videos were mostly, simple performances, promotional clips?
Right.
He turned them into an art form.
He did. He had this vision of creating these mini movies, visual stories that, complemented the music. Thriller, for example. I mean, that wasn't just a video, it was a cultural event.
Exactly. 14 minutes. That took music videos to a whole new level. Blending horror, music, dance in a way that honestly nobody had ever seen before. And the impact was huge.
It really helped to popularize MTV.
Yeah.
And made music videos an integral part of the music industry. It's amazing how one artist's vision can just have this ripple effect.
It really is. And his innovation, it didn't stop there. Think about Beat It, that gritty portrayal of gang rivalry and that incredible dance sequence.
Oh, come on.
Or Smooth Criminal with that iconic lean. He just kept pushing the boundaries.
They weren't just visually stunning, but they told these compelling stories. He had this knack for blending music, dance, narrative in a way that was just so captivating. Did you ever try to learn the Thriller dance?
I know I did.
It's hard not to get swept up in the energy of those videos.
Right. And his influence. It's still so evident today. You can see echoes of his style in countless artists who came after him.
Oh, yeah. From Janet Jackson to Britney Spears to Lady Gaga, so many artists have been inspired by his visual storytelling, his innovative choreography.
Yeah.
He really, raised the bar for what a pop star could be.
He wasn't just a singer. He was a performer, a showman, a visual artist. He wanted to create a spectacle, an experience that went beyond the music.
And he did. Those music videos weren't just entertainment, they were works of art. That they pushed those creative boundaries. They left a lasting impact.
And it's fascinating to think about how much work, how much dedication went into those productions. The guy was a perfectionist.
You can see it, the meticulous attention to detail, the choreography, the costumes, the set.
Everything.
Everything was carefully crafted to create a specific effect.
And that dedication is part of what made him such a captivating performer.
Yeah.
He wasn't just going through the motions, he was pouring his heart and soul into every single performance.
It's interesting to consider the contrast between, Michael's larger-than-life persona on stage and then his reportedly, shy and private nature off stage.
It's true. That duality is something that always intrigued me. On one hand, you have this global superstar who's commanding stadiums, captivating millions.
Right.
On the other, you have this seemingly fragile individual who's struggling with the pressures of fame and seeking refuge in this world of his own creation.
It makes you think about, the price of fame, the toll it can take, even on the most talented and successful people. That balancing act, between the public persona and the private self, that's got to be so challenging.
It has to be. And it's a reminder that behind the glitz and the glamour, there's always a human story unfolding with its own triumphs, its own tragedies.
It makes you appreciate the artistry even more,
Yeah.
knowing he was battling his own personal demons while creating these groundbreaking works.
Adds another layer of complexity to his legacy. And despite the controversies, the complexities, you just can't deny the impact Michael Jackson had on the world.
Nope. His music continues to resonate with new generations. His influence, you can still feel it across pop culture. He was a true visionary, a trailblazer who changed the game.
Welcome back. It's incredible. We've covered so much ground, and it still feels like we've only just scratched the surface of Michael Jackson's story.
It's true, though. Icons like Michael, their impact is so vast it touches on everything. Music, dance, fashion, art, even the way we think about celebrity.
As we're wrapping up, I keep thinking about his music. Those songs, I mean, they just don't get old.
No, it's a testament to his artistry, really. The
Yes.
melodies, the rhythms, those lyrics, they tap into something universal, something that transcends time, trends, everything.
Even the songs that, weren't the massive hits, the deeper cuts, you listen to those and you still see so much of his talent, that constant desire to experiment. He wasn't afraid to push those boundaries, blend genres, explore different sounds and textures. That's part of why his music still feels so fresh today.
Absolutely. And it's amazing thinking about all the different phases of his career, right? From like the youthful energy of the Jackson 5 to the mature artistry of Thriller, Bad. The guy never stopped evolving as a musician.
That evolution is incredible. He could have just stuck with what worked, but he always challenged himself to grow, explore new territory.
And that's why he inspires so many artists today, that fearlessness, the dedication to his craft, the willingness to break the mold. Those are qualities that resonate with anyone who, is striving for creative expression.
For sure. His impact on music, dance, fashion, visual art, it's undeniable. He broke barriers, set new standards, created a body of work that just keeps captivating and inspiring new generations.
But alongside the art, there's the man himself, Michael Jackson, the person. He was complex, contradictory, often misunderstood.
Absolutely.
It's easy to get caught up in the extremes, to either idolize him or demonize him.
Right, but the truth, like always, lies somewhere in between. He was a human being, had his flaws, his vulnerabilities, but also this immense talent, generosity, a genuine desire to make the world a better place.
It reminds us that fame and fortune don't guarantee happiness, that even the brightest stars can struggle with their own inner demons. It's a human story, isn't it?
It is, and I think that's important to remember, to see the humanity behind the icon, the person behind the persona.
So as we close out this deep dive, I'm left with a few thoughts. His music still moves us. His artistry inspires us. His story makes us think about the nature of fame, the power of creativity, the complexities of just, being human. What about you, listener? What stands out to you? What's your takeaway from this journey through Michael Jackson's world?
It's a big one for sure. His legacy is multifaceted, and it's going to continue to provoke discussion, debate. I have no doubt about that. But one thing's for sure, Michael Jackson left an unforgettable mark on the world, and his influence. It'll keep reverberating for generations to come.
Michael Jackson, the king of pop. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.